Welcome to episode 5 of the Red Eye Podcast. I am here with a special guest. Who am I here with today?
You're here with Rose, man. Rose from the Phantom Nerds.
Rose from the Phantom Nerds. I appreciate you coming through, man. If you are new to the Red Eye Podcast, this is a podcast where we talk about pretty much everything. Anything from gaming. This episode, I think we'll get into a little bit of anime, into some current events. Pretty much anything that you can think about, we will discuss, even relationships. Yeah, even nerds have relationships. So, thank you guys so much. If you're watching us on Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us a 5-star rating. If you're watching us on any other platform, share it because we got some good stuff coming. And also, before I get into anything else, I created a Twitch where we'll be playing different video games. So if you want to come through the Twitch, it is twitch.tv/X from Red Eye. So that'll be me. I've been streaming every day this week. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the chat. And
I'm not gonna lie, I did catch the stream a few times. I ain't gonna lie, you ain't looking like the Floyd of old. You're not.
But I haven't been playing games like that, to be honest with you. But
I can tell.
I'm trying to get back into. I'm trying to get back into it. So it's one of those things where as you get older, you find that you have less and less time to do the things that you used to do.
That's true.
And it's almost like that money time, opportunity cost thing where, when you're young, you don't have the money, but you have all the time. And as you get older, you start to have the money, but not necessarily the time to do the things that you would like to do. So now I'm trying to get back into the swing of things with the gaming, but we can go on and on about that, and we will eventually. We have Rose on the channel from the Phantom Nerds. Introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Rose, as I stated earlier. I have a YouTube known as the Phantom Nerds, where we talk about anime. We've actually just started implementing video games as well. Every Sunday, we have a new zombies video that's up. And pretty soon, we're going to be playing Destiny 2.
Okay.
I think I'm more excited about Destiny 2. To be completely honest.
So did you see the reveal for the Xbox showcasing? Actually, we're gonna get into that because you bring up Destiny and I'm already jumping the gun. But definitely check out his channel. He was just showing me some videos that he made. He's actually a filmmaker type person as well. So he does all the B-roll, the fancy editing, all that stuff. So it's really nice to meet people who or to kind of interact with people who do the same thing that I like to do. So, and we've known each other for years. So,
I think the first time I met you was Miss Davis class. What was that? History or something? It was like 7th grade.
Everybody used to like Miss Davis.
For a lot of reasons, man. For a lot of reasons, we used to like Miss Davis. But
yeah,
that was my first time ever meeting Floyd.
Yeah. So, we've known each other for a long time now. So, but we've been going through a bit of change, not even a bit, a lot of change. I guess, how have you been holding up the past couple months or so?
Man, it's been slow, if we're going to be completely honest. Like, not a lot of stuff, like extra work to do. But I've still been maintaining. I've had a lot of extra time. So all that's pretty much gone to like the Phantom Nerd stuff. So.
Yeah. And, how did that start? Like, where was the idea? Where did it come from?
So, I used to watch a lot of sports debate shows. Yeah. Like, First Take, Undisputed and stuff like that. I was like, one day I was just sitting there and I was like, it'd be like really interesting to have like an anime debate show. Yeah. Where, people just come on, just debate anime. Yeah. I feel like anime has gotten like has gone on like a rise over like recent years compared to when like when we was in middle school. Like, we wasn't talking about anime like that, or like anime wasn't even talked about like that. But I just feel like, I feel like this would be a great idea. It's just kind of something. So
I think that's interesting you say that, because I wanted to bring up the topic of anime mainly because that's what your channel is kind of subjected around for the most part, anime, gaming, etc. And like you said, in middle school, anime was something that we all kind of watched, like at least our circle of people. Like we watched anime.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the real cool thing at the time, to be honest with you.
It was definitely not the real cool thing at the time. Like now you go out with like and a Dragon Ball Z shirt, a Naruto shirt, people be like, "Oh, you watch anime?" It's like it's a conversation starter. But back then, people look at you like, "Oh, this nigga, he's kind of weird."
No pussy, no.
I swear.
But you know, in all seriousness, like growing up in middle school, you know, a lot of people watch anime didn't even know that those shows are anime. Like Dragon Ball Z, a lot of people didn't know that Dragon Ball Z was anime until years later. They're like, "Oh snap, that's Dragon Ball Z." Like basically everything on Toonami was Dragon Ball Z. If you don't know Toonami, do they still have Toonami nowadays?
They still have Toonami. They play a lot of the newer anime shows.
No, the newer animes.
But yeah, they still have Toonami.
Okay.
I don't really watch it, but I know it's still.
Yeah, because they got all the new apps now with all the.
Exactly.
You just watch whenever you want. But yeah, I remember those days, man. It's like, you know, it took me a while to get into Naruto, but I got into it a lot earlier than most people.
Yeah.
Like I think I got into Naruto in elementary. Dang, Naruto has been around that long.
It's been around for a while.
You know, I got into Naruto probably around like 5th grade. And, you know, that was when, you know, not Naruto Shippuden, obviously, but like from episode 1 through episode 80, you know, that's when I got into it. And I think I got into it right when they got into like episode like 86 or something. I had just started. And, you know, just to think back then, people were kind of ashamed to be like super fans. Like, think about it. Back then, if people were doing cosplay, you were like, man, these are some weird dudes. You know what I mean? Like, these are some weird folks that are, you know, dressing up as these cartoons. Because, like, to be honest with you, you know, I like to poke at anime a little bit with like super hardcore anime fans and call them cartoons because I know it triggers them. But, you know, to be honest, you know, I'm an anime, you know, fan in a way. So, especially like, you know, Demarco, if you're watching this, you got all those cartoons tatted on you, but you know it's all.
DeMarco took it to the extreme. I was like, okay, when he first had one. I think it was like what Vegeta or like it was the Ape Saiyan. Yeah. I was like, okay, and then he just kept going with it. I'm like, am I not doing enough? Like, I started questioning myself. I was like, man, maybe I'm not doing enough.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if you guys don't know who Marco is basically like a brother to me and a friend to Roosevelt. Fun fact, Marco did not like Naruto at all in high school. And I used to tell him, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Naruto is better than Dragon Ball Z. Like if you're gonna be real, like as far as everything, like it's a debate worth having that Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, Naruto could be better. And you know, Marco was like, nah, man, you know, Dragon Ball Z is where it's at. Naruto ain't blah blah blah.
But I mean, when you think about it, he's a super Dragon Ball Z fan.
Yeah.
So like,
but he didn't even give Naruto a chance. That was my thing. I'm like, dude, at least watch it. Like, watch up to like episode, let's say 60. Actually, to me, if you watched up until when you get to those sound ninjas where they like go like what is it? The curse marks. And then Neji like supposedly dies or whatever. Like to me, that was when I was like super lit. I'm like, this.
I feel like you could have got into it earlier than that. I feel like if we're being completely honest, I feel like when they introduced Zabuza at the very beginning, I feel like that's when people probably got into it.
When he went Nine-Tail for the first time.
Yeah, seeing that you're like, okay, there's some juice to this show. Like,
yeah, they actually throw them hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, on that subject as well, you know, anime has evolved so much. Do you think that it's one of the most influential forms of media nowadays? Like think about music. Music has been around forever. Like since, you know, I guess human existence, people have done things to make sounds that sound appealing and that sort of thing. And, you know, people get tattoos of different, you know, musicians that they like, different, you know, bands and stuff like that. And just to think, you know, 15 years ago, if you were to see somebody with a Dragon Ball Z tattoo or a Naruto tattoo, you would think that that dude probably had some, you know, some issues or something. You're like, what is he doing tattooing, you know, cartoons? But nowadays you look at it and it's what we grew up on. Yeah. So it's like the stories that you listen to and hear and watch through these anime series, they're so compelling and they're so relatable in a lot of cases that, you know, it really shapes the way you think about life in so many aspects. Like if you think about Naruto, they have so many villains, and they're not villains. Honestly, they're mostly, you know, people with different ideologies of, you know, how the world should function, but they all want peace at the same time.
Yeah, we talk about that. I mean, obviously, the first villain that would come to mind would be like Pain, and how his life experiences. Well, of course, it's not his real name's not Pain. It's what, Nagato.
Yeah, Nagato.
Yeah, so obviously, like his life experiences of growing up and like basically seeing his best friend die, and then obviously wanting to change the world. You know, like you said, they're not really villains. It's just their life experiences have shaped their mentality to a way of like, this is what I think like world peace should be. I think that's the case for like anybody in the world.
Yep.
You know, like my idea of world peace might look different from somebody else's idea of world peace.
Exactly.
And they might view me as a villain, you know, or I might view them as a villain, but in reality, they're probably not really a villain. It's just our ideals aren't lining up.
Right. Like I find it hard pressed to kind of account of any villain, and I'm, for people who are listening and not watching, I'm doing the quotation fingers, any villain in Naruto to just be a straight evil person that just wants to kill people. Mm-hmm. For the most part, they're people that have experienced certain things and, you know, have, you know, a reasoning behind why they are the way they are, and it's for, in their mind, a good cause. Now, it may be, you know, it may be a bit off the reason as to how they're doing it or why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But it's all, like you said, because of how they grew up. Mm-hmm. And just think about real life. Like we all grow up in different places, you know, different, we all have different opportunity from birth. It's very similar to think, okay, what if, you know, someone grew up in a impoverished area that didn't have much growing up and lost family members from violence or so forth. That person is going to grow up with a different an outlook on life because they've seen certain things. They've been through some certain things, as opposed to someone who maybe hasn't had to go through as much hardship early on in their life. So, you know, I can kind of argue that anime has become even more influential than music to our generation. Yeah. You know, because of just that. And, you know, you take it, you look at Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z it's fighting. You know, it ain't really too much.
There's not much storyline going on with Dragon Ball Z.
It's fighting, but a lot of these anime series are very captivating, and you know they make you think, you know, about life. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just it's something interesting to look at because, you know, we've watched anime kind of evolve, and you know it's one of those things where people, you know, are really accepting of it now, and I'm glad that is, and hopefully it continues. So
yeah, hopefully. I mean, like, it's just, I feel like anime is just, there's so many different forms of it that there's a lesson for everybody to take from a different anime. Like, each anime presents its own lesson that you can draw from it, and each character in each anime presents a lesson that you can draw from it, you know? Right. So like Nagato, you can draw from like, you know, like he lost his best friend at a young age, and like his idea of peace is like where you have to lose nobody, you know? Yeah. It can teach you to like appreciate those around you, you know, a lot more. And you know, so it's all just perspective. Yeah. Everything is perspective based. So. Right.
Yeah. That's definitely an interesting one, because most people, if you've never watched anime before, just give it a chance. And you know, it's one of those things, once you get into it, you'll start to appreciate it. It's almost like different genres of music. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're the type of person who only listens to rap music or R&B music, give another genre a chance, and even though you might not like it, you may gain an appreciation for that type of music. Because for the longest, I didn't like heavy metal. And I think a lot of people don't like heavy metal that are black because we don't listen to it that often.
Heavy metal, if we're going to be completely honest, heavy metal and rock isn't that bad. Like, right. Like a lot of people, when they hear like heavy metal or rock, they're like, oh, this is like some white boy crazy type stuff. But that's not even the case, bro. Like, like Kill Switch Engage, they're not that bad to listen to. Yeah. Like, They're actually like a Christian group, which is wild, but like they're a good group to listen to.
Right.
Let's see, Motorhead. They're a classic group. Who else?
I went straight in. I went to Slipknot, like my first.
Slipknot.
Yeah. So like
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah, it is like literally screaming into the mic. But I gained an appreciation for it because when I started to learn how to play guitar, I was looking up different rock bands and stuff like that so that I can start to play certain things.
Yeah.
And you gain an appreciation for it because even though from the outside looking in, you think, oh, this guy is just screaming into the mic and, they're just playing really loud music. Mm-hmm. Think about it from a artistic standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, can you scream like this person is screaming? Like, just think about it. Are you able to do that? Most people cannot do that. It is a skill to be able to scream like that. And it is a skill to be able to play loud music and, most of the time be off the meds. And, so so like, just look at it from an artistic standpoint.
I think one genre of music that I would say is my weirdest genre of music to listen to would be like music scores, like Hans Zimmer and like
Hans Zimmer.
Yes, you have to listen to some Hans Zimmer. It's like, I don't know. There's like, for me, like when I'm watching a movie, like the music score that goes with it makes the movie. So like, and Hans is he's very talented at like drawing you in with the music. You don't even realize you're being drawn in with the music or being taken there until you listen to the music by itself. And then you can like imagine like the actual like movie scenes.
Right.
Like he did like Pirates of the Caribbean. He did like Dark Knight. He did like the Batman films. He did like the score for what else? Inception, Interstellar. So like when you listen to that, it opens your mind to like just, for me, like when I'm like editing, I like to listen to Hans because it like,
you had to send me some of that because I never heard.
I have like a whole Hans playlist. I ain't gonna lie. And like when I really need to think, I'll listen to Hans, and it'll like like the variety and the sharpness and like the instruments of it all is it's perfect. It's perfect. It's really perfect.
Definitely. If you listen to this, check him out because I'm gonna check him out too, and I'm gonna let Roosevelt know if it's bad or I'll be the critic on that one. But yeah, let's switch topics a little bit. We got into a little bit of the anime. We can get back into that later on because it's definitely a subject where most people can relate to it because most of us watch anime. Yeah. And if you don't, like I said, try it out. But like I said, we've known each other for a good minute now, and we've gone through some things.
Yeah.
And there's a crazy story that that we have as a friendship that I think Roosevelt should explain to you guys because I think you guys will like it.
All right, so this was what, like probably longer than 5, probably like 7 years ago.
We were sophomores in high school, I think. Sophomores or juniors?
I don't remember. It was a summer, and I was somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be. I know that. But let's see. So we went to like a foam party. It was me, you, Demarco. I think it was just us three.
John may have been there, but a foam party for y'all, if y'all don't know what a foam party is essentially a party where there's a bunch of like soap foam. Like if you could think about if you overfilled your dishwasher with too much, dish liquid and like the foam will start to seep out of the washer. That's what basically is a foam party. It's a bunch of foam. Guys show up, females show up. That's females like we at the club. Women show up, and it's basically, you get wet.
Yeah.
So that's basically a phone party for y'all.
Yeah, and so I had never been to a phone party up to this point.
Me either.
I was like, the only thing I could imagine was like, I guess stuff I had seen on like videos, like, half naked women, getting roll ups on the floor. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go. Yep. So I don't even know what I told my parents I was actually going to go do. But so I go. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna show up or whatever. So we go. We get there. We having a great time, and I remember, throughout the night, people would like be dragging like the women through the phone.
Yeah.
I remember we were dragging this one girl through the foam, and like somehow I slipped and fell. And in the process of me slipping and falling, my mouth hit the floor. And then I got up. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. And so I get up, and like my tooth is missing. So I'm like, whoa. So
how did you find out? Because I remember how you found out.
How did I find out?
I told you. You started talking to me, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck your tooth?" And he was
like, keep in mind, I'm wearing braces at this time.
Yeah,
so.
he had braces, so I'm like, you had that extra support there to hold it.
Exactly. I don't know how that came out.
There was no blood either. Was there blood?
There was blood. It was a lot of blood.
Oh,
I remember I went to the restroom, and so I'm in the restroom. I'm grabbing tissue, and people are walking in like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And I'm like, I'm just sitting there like, "Oh, I don't even know, man." So I remember I come out the restroom. It's Demarco and Floyd. They're talking, and Floyd runs off to go, I guess, find the tooth, in which he actually found the tooth.
You'll be surprised. There was so much foam, and the club was so big. I do not know how I found the tooth. I was like, "Where did you fall?" And then you was like, "Oh, I don't know, over there somewhere." Mind you, we weren't drunk enough. We were teenagers. Like, we were at a teen club, so there was no drinks. There was literally apple juice and soda at the bar. So like, when he told me like he lost his tooth, I was like, we need to find it and get it in some ice. That way we can save it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I found the tooth under some foam. I had to move like some dudes and some chicks out the way. And I'm like, yo, we looking for a tooth. And I had like 8 people looking for the tooth with me. Somehow I found it. Uh-huh. But, I don't know. That was just interesting because you didn't even know you had lost the tooth until I saw you
really
talking.
Didn't.
You would have went home or you.
I probably would have. I mean, it was so much blood. I mean, obviously, I would have. Oh,
that's crazy. You probably hit the floor so hard that you didn't even feel the real pain of it because it was so quick.
Yeah, it was like real quick. It was
that's
like
crazy.
Boop, and then I get up and like, oh, ain't nothing too bad.
That is crazy.
Mind you, so like the tooth came out. So I'm like, we get the tooth and like some ice. And then we leave to take me home. I get home, my mom outside. And then I'm like, oh man, it's about to be a rough night. And she upset. My dad, he just like, real cool and real chill. Mm-hmm. And like, these things happen. So the next morning, I go to the dentist and they got jokes, of course. And they like, we don't even know if we can put this back. So they're like, I forgot what they did. They like checked somehow, and they realized it was like the whole tooth that came out, like the part that's even like in your gums.
That's crazy.
So it didn't like chip off or anything. Mm-hmm. It was just like the whole.
So
tooth.
they was able to glue it back in. Pretty much.
Just stuck it back in, and it was like, we'll see what happens.
And it's been like cool ever since.
Yeah, it's been cool ever since.
It's probably more like stuck in there than your other teeth. To be honest with you,
it probably is because that was. It's a crazy event to have happen to you.
And that's crazy because like when stuff like that happens, you start thinking about, hey, was the nerve like okay? Like, because sometimes.
And they mentioned that like,
yeah,
hopefully like the nerves of the tooth didn't die. Hopefully like.
Because your tooth would have probably started to change color had like the nerve died. Because I know some people who have like issues with nerves in their teeth, and like once the nerve dies, you don't have any feeling in it, and then also it can turn like green because there's I don't know, but it's a blessing that we found it and we got you back because everybody likes to have their teeth, and especially the front tooth, like literally the front tooth.
It'd be different if it was like a back tooth or something, and I'd be like, it's not nothing. I mean, it's crazy, but it'd be like, I feel like I could live with that.
Yeah.
But it was literally the front tooth.
The front tooth, as front as you can get.
The frontest of them all. And I was just like, man, this is very, very crazy. So yeah, I had to get that put back in. I was without a tooth, and imagine living without a tooth.
I think that was on a Thursday too, because
it was on
Thursday or a Wednesday, because I know teen night was like always in the middle of the week, because at the weekend, of course, you got to have the adults who gonna actually pay some real money. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was definitely an experience to see, and to be a part of. So it's one of those stories that as we get older, we always gonna remember it pretty much vividly because of how crazy it was.
That's an unforgettable story. It's like a whole front tooth.
Did you ever tell your mom like what y'all was doing?
Nah.
You have your mom watch this.
I probably will.
Yeah, so Miss Mays Roosevelt was all on the girls. He was grabbing booties. He was everything that you thought that he wasn't, he is.
All because I decided to drag a female through some phone, man.
Yeah.
I almost lost a tooth. That's crazy.
Crazy. But yeah, definitely a story that we'll take to the grave. Actually, not to the grave because we just told everybody, but a story we won't forget.
Yeah, that's a story that's gonna live forever.
So we talked about gaming a little bit earlier, and I didn't want to get too much into it because now is when I want to get into it.
Yeah.
Now that we have the crazy story out the way. So like I said, I started my streaming twitch.tv/X from Red Eye. That's me. Go ahead and follow me there. So the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are both scheduled to release sometime at the end of the year.
Yep. And
with that being said, there's always a great debate on which console people are going to buy, which one are you going to buy. And in this kind of year, PC is more of a thing than it's been in previous years.
That's true.
So what do you think about this next generation of consoles? What do you think about the Series X? What do you think about the PS5? And which one do you think is gonna take the crown this generation?
If we're gonna be complete, I mean, I'm gonna try and I really want to not be biased about my opinion because I've been on the Sony wave for forever. PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. Like I still have my PS3. I actually did play it the other day, surprisingly. I played what was that, Black Ops 1?
Dang, Black Ops 1.
Yeah, so I feel like it's gonna be PS5, but I can't deny the greatness of the PC gaming.
Yeah.
Just the graphics of it all, the processing of it all. It's just it really can't be touched. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cause you can modify it to fit you, like
right.
It can be specifically modified to fit your needs.
Exactly.
And that's why I feel like, I mean, PC is like obviously king of gaming. Like,
oh wow, yeah, I agree with you to an extent. I think that this generation of consoles, first off, they're going to be much more powerful than what we have. Like a lot of these,
most definitely.
Yeah, they're going to be like some really really high powerful machines.
I think this is going to be like the closest it can probably get to PC.
At least in today's age, just because, and it's interesting because I'm really interested to see what prices they come out at, because if they come out at $400, even $500, that is extremely, in my opinion, cheap for all the power that you're getting out of these systems. But from a perspective of what I get the Xbox or the PS5, let's take it back a little bit, because from the Xbox 360 days and the PS3 days, let's be real.
Xbox
360
had it.
The PS3.
It did.
It completely destroyed it.
I didn't want to admit it at that time because I was just.
We were on PS3 heavy too. Even though I had an Xbox, I played PS3 mostly.
Yeah, I was definitely on PS3 heavy, but Xbox 360 had it. I would have never admitted it at that time.
Right.
But now I can admit that. And
now.
Yeah, now I can admit that. But I think when the PS4 hit, I think there was a shift from like, okay, people were like, Xbox 360 is better. But it's obviously been a shift to like PS4 took the cake versus the Xbox One. But now it's Sony gonna continue. I mean, I didn't really catch the Xbox reveal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, you know, I'm a Sony person, so you know, I ain't really care to watch the Xbox reveal. The Sony reveal, but the Sony reveal, I watched that and it was just like, it was kind of like, I felt like I was being taken to the future. Like I felt like I was gonna get, like I feel like when I buy the PS5, I'm getting that next gen. Like, and I don't know if I really felt that with the Xbox One. Hence why I don't know if anybody really felt that with the Xbox One. With the PS4, it was like, okay, you could kind of feel you were getting the next gen. Yeah. It wasn't really like, it was like, it's just like, it. Like when the PS4 came out, it was just, for me, it was like, oh, it's a new system. Like, that's all it was for me. Like, man, I'm getting the PS4. But with the PS5, I feel like I'm getting the next thing, the next big thing. And I feel like the PS5 is going to take us there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think that the PS4 and the Xbox One, it was just like, okay, we're getting new systems. You know what I mean? But, you know, I guess your point on, you know, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 dominating the PS3, I think that Sony learned from their mistake from the PS3 because the PS3, it was much more expensive than the Xbox 360 when it first came out.
That's true.
I think the PS3 was like $600 or $500 or $600. It was expensive for way back when.
Oh yeah, it was.
And the
expensive.
360 was like what, $250 or something like that. But with all that, the Xbox, they had much better exclusives. And although you had to pay for internet, the internet was so much better on the Xbox, and you had party chat, you had all that stuff, that it was like worth, you know, paying the $50, you know, for the service. So I think that Sony learned from their mistakes with the PlayStation 3, and they said, okay, we're going to come in cheaper, and we're going to undercut Microsoft because the PS4 is actually cheaper than the Xbox, and we're going to really focus on getting some good exclusive games so that people will buy the PS4, they'll play the exclusives, they'll fall in love with the exclusives, and then they will demand sequels, and that will carry them into the next generations of consoles. So I think that Xbox, they got complacent. They stopped really focusing on the gaming side and started worrying about, you know, Spotify and Netflix and being an all-in-one system.
That's true.
You know, so
the exclusives really did something for Sony. Like, even if it wasn't like strictly like Sony exclusives, but it was like, since you have a PS4, you're getting this game earlier. Or since you have a PS4, you're getting this game and you're getting this extra content. And then that was just like, okay, Sony has it. And then once Call of Duty started,
I was about to say that.
Once Call of Duty started having like Sony PS4 exclusives, that really changed the game, because it was like, well, hold on, I used to get exclusives over on Xbox. What's going on now? So now you just like, well,
you know, it's funny because a lot of people who played PS3, they switched over to the Xbox One because they, you know, they wanted, you know, the pro scene, you know, for Call of Duty was going to be on Xbox, as it's always been. And right when they got the Xbox One, like the next week, they're like, nope, all the exclusive are going to be switched over to PS4. Well, Sony's going to take that contract.
And I think another thing that kind of, I'm not going to say it really hurt Xbox, but a lot of people have been waiting for, like, you know, Halo and like Gears of War, and not having that, it just was like, I mean,
like those games just don't they don't release as frequently as, you know, a lot of other games that, you know, like there's no, you know, although we bash Call of Duty a lot because,
but they come out every year.
It comes out every year, and whether it's a great game or okay game, it keeps you engaged in the series. Listen, because man, every year you could be.
I have like 5 or 6 Call of Duty games on my system right now. I have Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. I have World War 2. Like, Call of Duty, as much as I hate to admit it, they're gonna get me every year because it's like, dang, man.
And it's worth it every year because we play it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like Modern Warfare. To be fair, I don't like it. I think that
I don't like it either.
It's too slow paced. I think that it caters to camping. You know,
it caters to the new thing of battle royale. That's what it caters to.
Warzone is good, but for real Call of Duty players, don't really mess with Warzone. To be real, like, we want to play the competitive game. We want to go shoot a bunch of people. We want to carry our team to victory.
I want to get that nuke. That's what I want.
Exactly. Like, we don't want to, you know, land in a big ass map and then
I have to worry about like 99 other players or like 90. Well, obviously 96,
150 or whatever.
Whatever it is. And then like I don't want to have to do that. I'd rather be, you know, on a map like Rust or what was it, High Rise? I forgot the name of it. What was that Modern Warfare 2 map? The one with the 2 buildings. You had the helicopter in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's high rise.
Yeah. Or like favela or something with like, 7 of my other teammates going against the other 8, and we just duking it out.
Yep.
With a pave low coming above. I ain't gonna lie, them pave lows. They used to give me.
Yeah, pave low. But to that point though, it's like we're used to the fast paced thing. This newer generation of gamers, these Fortnite folks, pretty much are determining these new first person shooters or third person shooters in general. Mm-hmm. Because every game nowadays, for it to be competitive, seems like it needs a battle royale because people are so, addicted to it. The problem I have with it is, like I said, I'm so used to the fast pace. I love, getting the kills, moving on to the next kill, killing the next guy. And in the battle royale, it's like you can land in the big map, find your gun that you like, and get everything prepared. You have all your perks, all your equipment, and then you walk into a building, and then there's a guy camping in the corner, kills you, and then you just wasted 15 minutes, and you didn't do anything. Now I gotta do it all over again. I gotta jump out this plane again, and get my guns again, and hope I don't get killed by somebody camping in the corner. So,
because I've played Warzone maps where I've gone a couple of, like, at least damn near the whole game without running into somebody, and it's like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is like I done wasted most of my time not shooting anybody.
Exactly. And like, how do you get better when you don't get into gun engagements? And I guess we can ramble on and on about this because I hate how, one, the map has buildings where there's like 60 stories. So it's like 60 stories. Like, if you got to go kill somebody in a building that has 60 stories, like if you get a contract in Warzone to go, I guess, kill somebody so you can collect the money.
Yeah.
If he's in a building with 60 stories, I'm just not going to go because you're not going to find him. And if you do find him, he's going to kill you first because he's camping in the corner somewhere. So, I don't like it. But, I guess to get kind of back on topic, you said you didn't really look at the Microsoft showcase.
Nah.
And I don't blame you because it sucked. They showed, the first game they showed was Halo Infinite.
Okay.
And Halo's Halo, it's going to be Halo, which, I like Halo. And I've played.
I feel like now you don't even need. Maybe it's because I play Destiny so much. Mm-hmm. I just kind of like, at first when there wasn't any Destiny, it was like, man, I wish I had an Xbox to play Halo, but I'm not going to get an Xbox. But Halo's a great game.
Yeah.
But once like Destiny came out, it was kind of like,
it's like in between Call of Duty and Halo.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of Halo? Like, not what's the point of Halo? Like, Halo has its greatness, but
like
it's kind of
like
it fulfilled the need of like, maybe I should switch to Xbox to play Halo. But now it's like, Destiny's on PS4, and like the thing with Destiny 2, I must commend them for, it's kind of like GTA. Like, GTA Online has been going on for so long.
Yeah.
Even to the point where they even like introduced it for like the PS5 showcase. Of like,
hell yeah.
We're gonna give you some more GTA 5.
That's
it's like,
crazy.
It's like, dang, but they have so much online content, which I think a lot of games should probably like move towards to, like having like just online content that you can just continuously play.
Yeah.
Because like Destiny 2, I just bought an expansion the other day for like $34, and then they have another one coming out pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all this stuff to do and all this open world ability, it's just like, I want to grind on this game, like,
right.
And that's what a lot of games are starting to cater to. I feel like is like just the grinding ability, like, like you're gonna have to grind to get some rewards, and a lot of people like that, the grinding aspect.
And a lot of times they're free to play, like. In Destiny's case, I got Destiny 2 for free. I'm not sure if it's still free. It probably is, but a lot of the DLC I'm sure you got to pay for.
Yeah.
But at least they give you, the ability to play the game for free and actually do stuff in the game to rank up and all that. So, Destiny is almost like, becoming like League of Legends and StarCraft and all that stuff, how it's starting to really like have a fan base that's super loyal to it.
Yeah.
And they're willing to play for years and years and years because there's so much to do. There's new guns, there's new quests, all that kind of stuff. And to be fair, Microsoft has said that, their games are going to be coming to PC anyway. So I could almost argue why get an Xbox if all the games from Microsoft are going to be coming to PC? Nowadays, most people have a quality PC anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like you can either upgrade your PC and play all the Xbox games and buy a PS5 so that you can also play those PS5 exclusives and not even get the Xbox, because why get the Xbox if you already have a PC and all the games are going to be there anyway?
That's true.
Like I just bought, the Halo Master Chief Collection for PC, and I can play Halo on the PC, and I can use my controller if I want to use it, and it's crossplay. So I'm going to be playing against people on the Xbox. So it's like, with crossplay becoming such a big factor, we used to tell people you should buy the console that your friends are on. That way you can play with your friends.
That's true.
But nowadays, with all this crossplay happening, it doesn't matter what system you get. It just matters which one is for you personally. So if PC is for you, then, you don't have to buy anything because you can still play with your friends, just like Warzone. There's crossplay. You can play a PC, Xbox, PS4. And I think as crossplay becomes more of a thing, it's going to be much more difficult for, in this case, Microsoft, because they don't have the exclusives like Sony does to compete. So, and they're exclusive going to PC. So it's like, I'm finding it hard to think of a reason why I would buy an Xbox. And don't get me wrong, I'm probably going to buy an Xbox anyway because I'm that type of person. But and also, I've bought every single console up to this point, so I'm not fanboying anything. But
I'm fanboying.
Yeah, we know Roseman. He's not even looking at the Xbox.
not even phase.
But apparently, the Xbox Series X is supposed to be a bit more powerful than the PS5. But I think even though it's going to be a bit more powerful, I don't think that people will really see too much of a difference as far as performance. I think they're both going to be, very powerful machines, but at the same time, to me, the games are what's most important. And if Xbox can't deliver as far as what games that they're going to offer, then Sony is going to win this next generation, and Microsoft is going to fall further and further behind because, they've gotten complacent with the 360. So
that's very true. Like, it's just, man, I just don't see. It's not that I don't see Microsoft catching back up, but it's just like, what are you gonna do to catch back up? Like I said, I didn't even watch like the Microsoft conference, but I didn't hear anything special about it.
Yeah.
At least with like Sony, like before I even started watching it, I was hearing, seeing people talk about it. But like with the Microsoft, it was just kind of like crickets. Like
they showed Tetris, like Tetris was in there showcasing
for Microsoft.
Yeah, they showed next gen Tetris.
Next gen. I want to play that shit.
That shit, like, I can't believe they wasted stage time for next gen Tetris. Now I understand that some people may like Tetris, but why? Like, you're showcasing.
What does that even look like?
This is like if you're trying to get a job, like let's say you're trying to get this job at, to be some kind of manager at, a tech company. You're trying to get a job to be a manager at a tech company.
Yeah.
Would you put a job from your early high school days on your resume at that point? No. Like, mind you already have, some experience because now you're trying to apply to be a manager. Would you put that McDonald's job on your resume?
No.
Because it's not relevant, right?
It's really not.
It's the same thing with next gen Tetris. It's like, why would you showcase next gen Tetris if you should have so much better to offer? Like, you can't get the full effect of next gen by playing Tetris. It's just not possible, in my opinion. Now, if you show like an open world game, or you show something that's, very graphics intensive, something like that, then it's like, okay, cool. But Tetris has been around for, I don't even know how long.
I even know people still were like trying to play Tetris on the next gen. Like, I mean, I can understand if you're playing it on like, how they have like those classic gaming systems. I can understand if you're playing it on that. But if you're really looking through through like the PSN store and you're like, dang man, let me buy this Tetris. I just think something's wrong with you.
Yeah, that should be a free to play. Like,
I'm not about to buy Tetris, bro.
Yeah, that was disappointing. They started it off okay with Halo Infinite for their showcasing, and then a couple games in, they're showcasing Tetris, and I'm just like, come on now.
At least Sony like spaced it out. Like I can give them credit for that. They gave you a really good game. You was like, oh, and then for a while they kind of simmered down and gave you some games that were like, and then some games that were like, okay, that might be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, dang, I wish I remembered the name of the game. They did show what's that game called? Ghost of
Tsushima.
Yeah, they showed that for PS5, and that actually, I feel like that was a smart idea because they showed it for PS5. And then you can also buy it on the PS4.
Right.
So I was watching one of my friends play it the other day, and I was kind of on the edge about it. And then after watching him play, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get that.
I was thinking about getting it just to stream it, but of course nobody's going to show up to the stream. So
like the game is so like, it's beautiful. Like the colors that go into the game, like just the environment of the whole game, the load time of the whole game is quick. It's like you fast travel. Like, you know how like when you fast travel on like some games, it'll take you to like a loading screen. It'll take like 10 seconds and then it'll go to black for a little bit. So like really like 13, 15 seconds. Yeah. But with that game, it was like 5 seconds of like fast travel.
And just think about it like this too. Microsoft, they haven't had any exclusives that just stuck this generation. Like, think about the Mass Effect series. Like, Mass Effect was a huge hit, and then Mass Effect Andromeda came out, and then it was almost like everybody expected this game to be super, super, great like the previous two, and it wasn't as good. So it just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and now nobody talks about it. You look at Halo. Halo is Halo. It's like it dies off because you can only do so much, or at least in previous history, it's shown that they've only wanted to do so much with Halo. And you look at games like Fortnite and all these battle royale games, Apex, they keep upgrading, adding skins, adding different things to keep people engaged.
That's true.
And you look at games like Gears of War, these are all solid games, but they're not doing anything to keep them alive long term.
That's because I feel like those games are like so heavily focused on the story. Like, you were with the characters because like of their journey. Like they got you with the first game, they got you back with the second game. So now you're invested in those characters and you're invested in their story. Right. But like games now, like it's not like that the common player doesn't care about the game or like doesn't care about the story, but like what else can I do besides the story mode?
Exactly.
What's the online looking like? How long can you keep me invested in this game? Like Destiny has a great storyline. Right. Like it has characters that you can like kind of bond with, and it's your character that's going on this journey. So you feel like you're invested into this character, and then once you're done with the storyline, it's like, all right, now you have all these other quests that you can go on to help build your character, which really sticks really well. Like,
right. And I completely agree with that. And at least from the standpoint of Sony, after the exclusive games come out, they're having people eager for the next sequel or the next game because they've been actually like good games. Like you think about even this most recent one, like Sony released one of their best games of the generation in Ghost of Tsushima in literally the end of its life cycle. But when you think about, The Last of Us, even though The Last of Us got kind of mixed reviews, people are talking about it. Uncharted,
Uncharted, great series.
There's so many, Horizon. There's so many games that came out for the PlayStation that people, still talk about. Exactly. And for Xbox, like I forget what the exclusives are. Like BioShock is
that's not an exclusive.
Yeah, that's how you.
I have that on my PS4 right now.
Like I'm forgetting what the exclusives are. But
like, I think one Sony one that was really good. I actually played it. Spider-Man was a great.
Oh yeah, that was an exclusive too.
That's a great exclusive to have. It's like when you first see it, you're like, like with the history of Spider-Man games, like it's not too good, like because they're mostly based off the movies. But like nobody really like I'm not saying the Spider-Man games were bad, but they wasn't like.
If you was a fan of the movies, then you bought the game because you were that much of a fan.
Yeah.
Not that people generally don't buy the games from movies unless the game is super fire.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people aren't true Spider-Man or Batman fans. But in the past, people only buy those games if they were hardcore fans. Exactly. Nowadays, people are buying those games because they're good.
Exactly.
You know? So, like, and just think about, PS4, God of War, even Ratchet & Clank, Days Gone, like, all these games, PS4 or Sony. Mm-hmm. So, I just think that Microsoft's going to have their work cut out for them because if they can't come out with some exclusives that are going to be actually competitive, Sony's going to walk all on them, and then all the games from Microsoft will come to PC in a way. So
it's just going to be hard for them to catch up. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I mean, if you got another Spider-Man game coming out with Miles Morales, you got to consider the fact that we're having like a racial shift in the country.
Yep.
I mean, you made Miles Morales your main character.
Yep.
A lot of people gonna be behind that.
Yep.
So
and they're actually starting to make black characters in video games a regular thing now. And like in the past, remember when we grew up, like if you wanted to create a black character, you had like 3 hairstyles to choose from. It was like a bald dude. There was a guy with dreads. Yeah. And then there was always a guy with like a mid fade that didn't have an edge up, like just terrible hairline.
Yeah.
Like you had those 3 options. And for white people, you had, 25 different, hairstyles to choose from. Mm-hmm. So I think nowadays they're trying, to be more, I guess sensitive to, everybody doesn't have, long straight hair or, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's refreshing. I just hope that, they're doing it for the right reason.
Yeah, there was even a period of time where like the character would just be male. Like,
yep.
You didn't really have the option to change your character to a female like that.
Yep.
But now you have that option, So they've definitely been more inclusive over the recent years. So,
and to be fair, like I usually choose the female character because I'm always thinking from a competitive standpoint when I'm playing these games. Usually the females are skinnier. And like when you have a skinny, character, it's a lot harder for people to shoot you.
That's true.
That's why, and I think Call of Duty Ghosts, it was like really obvious too, because there's like this real skinny lady that everybody used as their character. And I used to use her because, her hitbox was smaller.
I'm not going to lie, I forgot about Call of Duty Ghosts. I forgot that was even a thing.
There are so many Call of Duties. Like, I think I started playing Call of Duty like a World at War. And then I went back. No, Call of Duty 3. That's my first Call of Duty. So I probably bought like 10, 11 Call of Duty since. But, it's going to be interesting. Whenever they come out with the pricings for each, I think that's going to be a big deal. Mm-hmm. Let's say Sony comes out and they're a little bit more expensive than Microsoft. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's as big of a deal if Microsoft comes out and they're more expensive than
Now,
Sony.
There's one thing I probably should look this up, but I know Sony has 2 versions of the PS5.
Yep.
Does Xbox have 2 versions of the Xbox?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because if Sony has their 2 versions, they could release the price of their more expensive version first and just see what Microsoft does. Mm-hmm. And then
because they have the regular version where you would obviously have like your disc and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have the digital version.
Yep.
And I feel like I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and they said the digital version will probably be cheaper.
Yes.
Based upon the fact that obviously you're just dealing with like, just the digital aspect of it. You're not dealing with like, your drive or like, having to have a disc, which I mean, and a lot of people are moving more towards digital anyway.
Yep.
So having 2 versions, I feel like
I think this is an advantage in this kind of environment because, like I said, let's say they release the price of the version with the disc. Mm-hmm. Then, if Sony, Sony has revealed their hand, they say, okay, we're gonna launch this one at $500, and Microsoft comes back and says, okay, they're going to launch at 500. We're going to launch at 450. Then Sony can come back and say, hey, we want to launch at 450 as well for our digital version, or we can launch at 400 for our digital version, which to me, I don't think they would do, just because a disk drive isn't worth, that much. It's not worth a $100 upgrade. But
some people I'm going to tell you, some people prefer the disc version, because let's say you get the Ultimate Edition. It comes with the disc. It comes with a bunch of other hard, like
posters.
Yeah, posters and the extra stuff. But if you get like that same version, like if you get the Ultimate version, like just digitally, you won't get that hard stuff.
Right.
I mean, you get like the season pass or whatever and all that other stuff. If you get the hard version of it, like the Ultimate Edition, you have like all these hard extra stuff, like a poster, like a keychain, just some other stuff. But if you get like the digital version of it, like you don't get all that stuff. So a lot of people prefer the hard copy of like a Ultimate Edition. But if I just buy the Ultimate Edition like digitally, and I've done that for a few games, I just get like the season pass and like maybe like some extra stuff. That's just like like a PS4 theme or something. But a lot of people still prefer that hard content that they can be able to hold, look, and keep forever.
Yeah, I agree. I think the real, true like fans of different series and different games are gonna appreciate that. But when you buy a disc, you still have to pretty much go through an installation of the game, which is essentially you just removing the download aspect. And in that case, you would still, I hope they don't make it so that you need the disc after you do your initial install, because that would suck. But they did it with this current gen. But yeah, to your point, I do think a lot of people will get the disc version, especially people from our generation, because that's what we grew up on.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of the newer, I guess the younger generation probably won't. And I think it's an advantage that Sony does have those two options that you can choose from, just so that they can price themselves a bit, more strategically against Microsoft if they need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely moved towards like digital, because I don't want the hassle. Because I have so many games.
Yeah.
That I just don't want the hassle of like, gotta take this game out, put this game in, or like if I'm going somewhere, I have to bring all these games with me.
Yeah.
Because I want to play all these games. Now I just have to bring my hard drive.
Exactly.
It's like 4 terabytes. So.
Oh, you keep everything on the hard drive?
Yeah, I keep everything on the hard drive.
That's smart, because to be honest with you, these next gen consoles really need to release with at least 2 terabytes minimum, at least. And I know they're probably not, but with games getting larger and larger, I think Call of Duty is like half a terabyte almost.
Call of Duty, the last update I saw was I feel like it's a stretch for me to say it was like 100 gigs, but I just know.
The update.
Yeah, I just remember it being a lot, and I was like, if I didn't have a storage drive, I'd be deleting a lot of games right now.
Yep, Call of Duty, it's like 460 gigs right now. So literally, you can get if they release a 1 terabyte, which to me is, I'd say, unacceptable, but they're probably gonna do it. You got 2 games that you can play before you got to start uninstalling. So
that's just crazy to me. But like, and another thing with like digital, I feel like it takes the need, or the like, you don't have to go out and get the game at midnight.
Right.
You can just literally sit in your house and just be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna download the game and go to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I don't have to sit there go
I remember
to
those days going to GameStop at 11:30 and
exactly
sitting in line like
oh yeah, we're gonna get the new Smash Bros. Yeah.
I did that. The last time I ever did that was for Injustice. Like, it was Injustice 2. So like, I was like real hyped for it. I was like, they gave me a shirt and everything. And then afterwards, I was just kind of like, I don't ever want to do this again.
Yep. I did that for Smash Bros. And I was the same way. I'm like, why the hell,
why am I waiting outside your store to get a game, bro? Like, it's not that serious for me. I just want to be able to turn my system on, put it on rest mode, and go to sleep.
And a lot of times what they do is they offer the game for download earlier so that, when the game actually comes out, you can just open it and play it right when, the game releases. So, it's more convenient now. I know GameStop hates it because, nobody's coming to their grand openings for, the next game. But
I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, they kind of did it to themselves.
Yeah. GameStop.
With the cheapskating of us when we come into trading games and then they resell it for, like, I understand you got to make money, but bro, there's no reason I should be getting like $3 for a Madden that just came out this year.
Yep.
So,
hey, man, we can give you $3.66 for 2K20. I'm like, dude.
And then they'd be like, well, if it's store credit, we can give you $5. It's like,
yeah, store.
Like, bro, store credit, really, bro? You get store credit. All right, man.
Yeah, they did it to themselves. And if you think about GameStop, they've always scammed you from that perspective, because this is why I would never buy a used game. And I had this kind of ideology way back when. It's because think about it like this. You buy a new game, $60.
Yeah.
You go and you sell it back to GameStop. Let's say you sell it the same week that it was released. So you're going to probably get about $35 for that game.
Yeah.
Which is, a little bit more than half of what you paid for it. And they're going to resell that game for $55. Just think about, they've made over $110 for a game, for one game.
Yeah.
$110. Mm-hmm. And you lost everything. You lost, half of your, what you paid for the game. So I'm like, if we keep encouraging people to buy used games, then we're only encouraging GameStop to keep scamming people, because just buy new. That $5, that $4 that you're saving is not worth it.
It's really not. It's not. I bought a used game like a while ago. It was probably like when Corona first started. But it was like Digimon for like the Switch or something. And even then I was just like, I feel like I'm being cheated, but it's whatever. I don't even like, I have my Switch, but I don't even play it that much. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll see what the game's about.
Yeah.
And even then it's just like, why am I here? Like, I don't really like this store. And then a lot of, like I said, I buy a lot of the digital games. So like, I don't have the need to go to GameStop anymore. I just don't. Like,
yeah.
I don't see a need for them. Like, I don't want to sell my games, because what if I want to come back to it and I sell it? Like, then I have to go buy it again. But at least now, if I buy it digitally and like I don't play it, I can delete it.
You can uninstall it and reinstall it whenever
exactly.
you want.
And let's say just one day I'm like, dang man, I really want to play this game. I can just go back in the store and re-download it.
Exactly.
So like, I mean, like, I get the point of why people might want to resell their game back to GameStop to like get some money out of it. But it's still, to me, it's like, it feels like it's not worth it. Because one day, I swear, you're going to want to replay that game.
You're either going to want to replay it, or you're going to look back at it and, just think about how, GameStop screwed you over. Definitely glad that we're moving away from that, though. And to be honest, I think that if you're going to resell if you're going to buy any used games, let it be a game that's not being produced anymore, in a game that's like a classic game. Like, how like the old Pokemon games from Game Boy, those actually appreciate in value because they're a lot harder to come by, and they're classic games, things of that nature. I could see you buying that used because you want to add it to your collection of blah, blah, blah. But if you're buying used games that came out this year or within this generation, then you need to definitely, kind of reevaluate that, because you're getting screwed over.
Very much so. I remember, like, when Final Fantasy X first came out, and like, we played it. Me and my older brothers, we played it. We beat the game. Then we sold it, and then one day it was like, I don't know, 2013, 2014. I was like, dang, I kind of want to play that game again. So I went out. I bought the game. I played the game, and then I was like, dang, it was a good game. And then, time went by, I sold it off again, and then I had a PS4. Yeah. And I was like, dang, man, I really want to play Final Fantasy X. And I was going to go buy it, but then I thought about it, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to buy it digitally. Like, because, like, obviously I'm not going to play this game forever. And at some point, I'll probably want to delete it. Yep. And this was before I had a drive. So I was like, at some point, I'm going to need to delete it.
Yep.
And, when I delete it, obviously, I'm going to probably just sell the game off. But then, like, I thought about it. It's been like 3 or 4 times I've come back to the conclusion of I really want to play this game. So I just was like, man, I'm gonna buy it digitally, and if I need some space, I'll delete it. And if I ever want to play it again, I'll just reinstall it.
To it. Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I've been doing. I mean, now I don't do that anymore. I have a drive, so that 4 terabytes does so crazy. Like, you know, like I see everybody else stressing about like Call of Duty updates, and I just be like, I don't have to stress about that.
You just put that hard drive.
Exactly, the hard drive stays plugged up. So if there's a there's an update, half the time I don't even notice like an update. Like it's like, oh, that updated. Like it'll flash across the screen. I'm like, oh, I had an update. Like, like usually it'd be like before my drive, it'd be like, this game needs to be updated. You don't have no more space. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna delete. But now it's just like
find something to delete. Yeah, take something out the rotation.
Exactly. Now I don't even have to do that. Like I was showing somebody how many games I had. They're like, do you even play all these? I'm like, no, but if I ever decide I want to play, if I ever decide I want to play BioShock,
I don't have to wait 3 hours to play it.
Exactly.
I can just pick it up. That's a big deal. So, you know, switch gears a little bit. Kanye for 2020. What do you think about this?
Well, I'm a big Kanye fan, so I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not behind it. I'm really not behind it.
Oh wow, Kanye fan not behind the campaign? What's going on?
I mean, it's not that I'm not behind it, but it's just like with his headspace right now, he just kind of needs to focus on whatever, like his music and like the affordable housing thing that he's doing off in Wyoming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he needs to focus on that stuff. I believe a presidential run is just not for him. I mean, before Donald Trump, I would have been like, maybe, but now we need actual politicians. In those positions.
Actual politicians.
Maybe
we can sneak Kanye in there after Barack Obama.
Exactly. You know, if it was after Obama, I probably would have been like, we can sneak him in.
Yeah.
But after Trump, nah, we don't need that, man.
Yeah. You know, I think after what I saw one of the videos where he was kind of like going at it with this one chick in the crowd, you know, because she was wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. And then he said like something about Harriet Tubman like didn't free the slaves, like she basically pushed them to the other, you know, white people. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think, I don't know, I hope Kanye's okay. Like I hope he's like for real. Like I hope he's in his right mind and he's doing okay, because, you know, some of the stuff he says sometimes is just like,
I think some of the stuff he says, he's on the right track. Like it's like
so extreme though.
Yeah, it's like you could see where he's trying to go with it, but it's so far out of there. It's like you kind of took it too far.
And it's, you know, it's like one day he's super chill, and then the next day he's like super super extreme on this side of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Kanye, I hope he's doing well. I don't think that he should run for president. One, because I don't want him to influence people to vote for people or for celebrities just because they're a celebrity. Mm-hmm. And although Kanye may have some good ideas, maybe, I don't know, I haven't really looked into his campaign or what he stands for, but you know, he has a track record of being very extreme.
Yeah, he does.
And I wouldn't, like, just think about Trump. Trump has a track record of being extreme, but I think Kanye is even more extreme than Trump. So,
do you really?
Yeah, I mean, from at least, I mean, it's a close battle. You think about it, they're friends, or at least they were friends. I don't know what the deal is now. But I think that they are both very extreme people. They're very emotional people.
That is true.
And I think that you can't have somebody in office that's super, super emotional unless you're showing empathy towards a disaster. Like, there's a human component to leadership that I think is essential for a good leader.
Yeah.
And Trump, he's never said, you know, really anything empathetic about what's happening right now with the whole Black Lives Matters movement. You know, he's never really just said anything to make people feel good.
Yeah,
and
he hasn't.
And Barack Obama, I think that he was a very, very good speaker, and he could always empathize with whatever group was going through pain, whether it be Black people, white people, Indian people, Hispanic people. And I think that we lost that with Trump because he's, you know, he's very my way or, you know, the highway. So, you know, That's just my opinion. I think that, you can't be overly emotional, but you have to be the right type of emotional when it comes to showing empathy about certain situations.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You definitely have to be able to show empathy, and I just find it hard to believe. I just don't think Kanye is a good fit for the position. I don't think, and then in that same breath, I don't think Trump is a good fit for the position. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of where we are in 2020 right now. Like, people who aren't fit for the position somehow get in the position. It's like, dang, like, and even with Biden, it's kind of like, it feels like it's just it's the lesser of two evils, really. Mm-hmm. Like it's either we get Trump or Biden. It feels like I don't want Trump, so I just gotta go with the other guy.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks because like I feel like the political election system of this country is a little broken. Like you have to have it's not really the popular vote that gets you a win. Mm-hmm. It's like the electoral college. It's like if Texas says we're voting Republican, like Florida, just like you just gotta win the major states. You don't have to win all the states. It's like I just gotta win enough electoral votes and I'm there.
Right.
Which, as we saw in the last election, wasn't the popular vote.
Yeah, I definitely think that they need to make it easier for people to vote, first off. Mm-hmm. Like Obama, he had his whole speech that he talked not too long ago. He was talking about how, they need to make it easier to vote, et cetera. Make voting day or election day a holiday, which I think they need to do. It's almost like, I have a driver's license, I have a state ID, the government has my social security number, they have my birth certificate, they have all these things, but I still have to register to vote. Yep. Like, where I live, everything about me. Like, why do I have to register? Mm-hmm. And, most people, that's the crutch that doesn't, that's the reason why they don't vote, is because it's not convenient. And it's like, we're doing everything through mail and, it's just like, come on now.
Which is crazy to me. Like we can do all these we can pay our bills electronically. We can do all these other things electronically, but I can't register to vote electronically. I can't cast my ballot electronically.
You have to go to the booth and do all those things.
But I can do all these other things, pay bills electronically. You don't ever they don't ever bring up the fact of like when they talk about like voting electronically or like casting, like registering to vote electronically, they always bring up like, well, the system could be hacked or this could be messed up. But they didn't say that when Bush got elected and what happened in Florida. They didn't say that.
Standing in lines forever and ever and ever. Mm-hmm. And it's so like blatantly obvious. It's like when people show you who they are, you have to believe it.
Yes.
Like believe them for how they show themselves to you. Mm-hmm. And if America is going to show themselves in this fashion, then believe it. Obviously, they're trying to make it harder for certain demographics to vote if they're not addressing the situations. Like, my thing is, you can have mistakes. Mistakes are okay. But you need to be able to show the world that you're trying to do everything in your power to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
That's true.
Because if you don't, then people are going to look at it as for what it is. Like, we're waiting 3 hours to vote, and, that should not be the case. It should be as simple as, really opening up your phone and click, Biden or Trump. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, whatever the case may be, I tend to agree with Brock in that we need to make voting easier. And, even people who have gone to jail and have felonies, I think that they should be able to vote too, because if you can't give them their rights back as a human, then why are you even releasing them from prison in the first place? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just because you went to prison doesn't mean that you're no longer human.
Exactly.
It means that you've messed up, you've done something, and you've sat out, you sat your time, and then you've been, given your freedom back. And once you have your freedom back, you should have all of your freedom.
Exactly. It shouldn't be like I have my freedom, I only get part of my freedom. And a lot of times, like, people are in jail for like stuff that's not that serious. Like maybe at that time they was dealing marijuana.
Yep.
Which is another crazy thing to me. Now we're legalizing marijuana, but it's like, so what about the people who were thrown in jail for marijuana? Like, I get they did their wrong, but now that it's legal, I mean, shouldn't they be out?
Yep.
Like, when they come out, shouldn't they have their voting rights back?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's the world we live in, and you know, we just got to keep, you know, not accepting stuff like this, because the more you accept it, the more it'll be enabled, and the more you speak out on it, the more it puts the pressure on the people who can actually enforce change to make change. So,
and I think another thing is, like, not that people are starting to accept a lot of the stuff. Like, obviously we've seen, like, you know, people rise up and talk and speak out against, but I mean, haven't we seen like the media coverage of all this like kind of like die down? Yeah, like that they are literally diverting our attention away from this. Yep. Right now, like, it's been less coverage of it. It's been less. It's like stuff is still going on. Like, riots are still going on out there, but we're not. It's the coverage of it has shifted away from that.
Yep. To other things.
Exactly. So, which is crazy when you really think about it.
And the NBA returned, so you know that's another thing. Hopefully, it works out where you know the NBA players can do their peaceful protesting and make a difference, and the people still, you know, keep their eye on what they're trying to truly accomplish. But like you said, it looks like they're diverting a lot of the attention from these riots and putting it on other things. Yeah, and you know, it's making it seem like it's slowing down, but really, it's just the media coverage.
It's the media coverage, and like they just gave us like symbolic wins, like Black Lives Matter on the road. We're gonna change the street name for you guys, stuff like that, like just to like try and like satisfy us, to keep us from getting what we really want. We want equality, right? Yep. But they gave us these other things to just kind of like put a muzzle on us for a little bit, and then you know, NBA's coming back. Divert your attention. Yeah. This is happening. Divert your attention. Like, it's just small stuff to divert our attention from like the real issues at hand.
Yeah. Well, definitely, I'm gonna have to get you back on the show, Rose. We're gonna definitely collab with some other videos as well. I think we've had some really good conversations, and there's so many more. I have so much on my list that we could actually talk about, but of course, we can't make this video, you know, 3 hours long.
That's very true.
Rose, go ahead and give them your closing statements.
Let's see. My closing statements? Oh, shit, do I even have any? I feel like we've been talking for so long. But yeah, just make sure y'all go subscribe to the YouTube, Phantom Nerds. You know, if you're an anime fan, subscribe to that. If you like video games, subscribe to that. One day I'll get Floyd to hop on the PS4 with me, hopefully.
Yo, we can get on tonight if you want to. Whatever you're trying to play. Because I'm going to be streaming. The stream is twitch.tv/X.
Yeah, you got Warzone, right?
Huh?
You got Warzone, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so we can play that. I haven't played that in a while, so it's going to be a little rough. I ain't going to lie. It's going to be a little rough. But I'm down to play that. Yeah, Warzone's cool with me.
So definitely give my man a subscription on YouTube, the Phantom Nerds. That's not with the F, that's with the PH, Phantom. That's how you spell it. And we definitely appreciate you guys coming to check out the podcast. Make sure you rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. We are on whatever platform that you listen to podcasts on, or at least we should be. So, I appreciate you guys checking us out. This has been episode 5. And sorry for the last episode. I know they were out of order. It was because of scheduling issues, but this is episode 5. It should be getting dropped literally tomorrow.
Okay.
If I'm not lazy.
If he's not lazy.
If I'm not lazy.
If he's not lazy. I understand that, bro. Sometimes you get a little lazy while editing and just looking at a computer screen for several hours is a lot.
Yeah. But you know, we got to grind. We got to get it in. So it really helps me out when you guys drop 5 stars, and it really helps when you guys like and comment on the video. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next podcast. And yeah.
Peace.